that perhaps 100 years from now they could say, look, back there in 2009, the people told different stories. Instead of talking about the battles, they talked about all those peacemakers who tend not to be celebrated, right? And indeed, I could show you hundreds of photographs of historic markers in all these villages and of statues and monuments to the warriors, over and over again. We sort of take it for granted that we have this intense landscape of memory when it comes to war, but we have hardly any memory, any landscape of memory when it comes to the peacemakers. In fact, I will offer a gold doubloon for anyone from Peekskill who can bring me to a monument or a statue, something that is a monument to peace, something celebrated, something that perhaps there's a parade to every year, right? As there is every year a Memorial Day parade, right? Memorial Day, which started out as Armistice Day, right? That started out actually as a celebration of the peace, a celebration of the end of conflict, but somehow over this century has migrated into a celebration of memory to the warriors, How is it that over and over again we can live with great, great gusto into the story of the warriors and not into those who make peace? I said I offered a gold doubloon, and I have to tell a story about a gold doubloon. This gold doubloon. I was walking from Champlain to Saint-Jean in Quebec. It was the second day of my journey. And I was with a man who I just met who said, I would like to walk with you. I would like to walk with you. I was so happy to have someone to accompany me. And he said, I've walked to Saint-Jean before, many, many years ago. It's a lovely walk. We'll go together. So we're striding down along the canal, the Champlain Canal. And at one point, I see this glint off out of the corner of my eye. I see something, and I turn, and there's this high, high green grass and a little depression. And I can see already it's something gold. And I go over, and I pick it up, and it's a loonie. What's a loonie? Canadian dollar, right? A Canadian coin. And the minute I see that loonie, I think, call Karen. You're Karen. Where's Karen? There's Karen, out there, somewhere in the dark. Ah, look, thank you, Jason. Bravo. I call Karen because she's the only person in my entire life with whom I've shared a story, which is that every time I find a coin that's tails up, I turn it heads up, thinking that someone else will find it and feel lucky on at that find, right? And she has told me a story that she's not so passive. She's very active, Karen. So what she does is she actually just collects pennies and just gives them away and tells people, that's a lucky penny, and that's a lucky penny, and that's a lucky penny. Perhaps you have something like this in your life, some strange little thing you do that you've always done that no one else does. And when you find and you meet someone who does the same thing, it creates a kind of instant feeling of kinship. This was a feeling of kinship. And so Karen was the only person that when I saw that loonie, I knew immediately, call Karen. And I said to Denis, we have to stop. I have to call Karen because she's leaving today for Germany on tour. And we need to discuss something. And he said, oh, no, there's a good place up here, about a half a mile or so. I said, Denis, I think I have to do it now. He said, oh, no, we'll walk some more. And we walk, and the whole time I'm feeling, oh. I said, Denis, please, can we stop right here? So we stop, and I put down my pack, and I get out my cell phone. Oh, yes, Champlain had no cell phone. Neither did Henry Hudson. Very, very handy thing to have. And I call, and Karen answers, and she says, oh, I'm so glad you called. We're just leaving in 5 minutes for the airport. And I said, well, I know, because a fairy left me a coin to tell me to call you. A fairy? Fairies leave coins? Tooth fairy coins, right? Now, that was my belief right away, is that a being left me that coin. Because I'm a pilgrim. I'm walking, and when you're a pilgrim, magical things happen. Now, when I told this story, a few days later, in Champlain, New York, to a group of 7th and 8th graders, there was a journalist there. And when she wrote about this, she said, "Oh yes, very interesting guy. He's walking from Montreal to Manhattan, but he's a little kooky. He talks about fairies. He talks about fairies." Okay? Now, I haven't been able to tell Jessica this story, but you know, when you travel this far and you meet this many people and you have so many stories and you search and you search and you search for an organizing principle, just like with my map, I was searching for an organizing principle of amity, something to focus, right? Samuel de Champlain, he's focusing on coastlines. He's trying to get latitude. All of us, all the time, we're trying to get something to get our bearings, to orient. About a week and a half, 10 days later, I was in a town called Fairhaven. I'd been looking forward to getting to Fairhaven, and because of the beautiful name. But when I got there, each person I spoke to did not say to me, like Fred Gillen said to me today, "Welcome to Peekskill." They didn't say, "Welcome to Fairhaven." They said, "What do you want?" And as a pilgrim, as someone traveling into the land of strangers every single day, when somebody says, "What do you want?" all of a sudden you go like this. The first person who said it to me, I thought, oh, I made a mistake. I'll go to the next person. I go to the barber. Barbers. Guys, barbers, right? I say to the barber, "Yes, I've come on this pilgrimage. I'm in your town. I'm looking for stories of amity, of concord, of friendship. Can you tell me stories?" He has an 80-year-old man in the chair, and I'm saying, "Oh, struck gold. This is a guy who's got lots of stories, right?" And the barber shop is a great place for conversation. And he kind of shrugs his shoulder. He says, "I don't know." I said, "Well, maybe you're a peacemaker, right? People drop into your chair, and they feel upset. They're tired. They're angry about something, and they can talk to you, and they have the wonderful sensation of having their hair taken care of." "No, that never happened." So that was my third strike. So I went and I got a sandwich and I sat on the green, and I open up this newspaper, and there's a picture of two women, and it says, "Caring Coins," and it has an image of these little wooden coins that these two women make that say, "You are never alone," and it has an angel on the wooden coin. And I see on the picture it says that this one woman, Dawn, that she is a teacher at the high school in the town that I'm going towards, where I have no invitation, I have no introduction, I have nothing. I have a blank spot on the map, just me going there the next day. And I think, perhaps I could go tonight, and I could find her. There was no contact information. I said, "That's the woman I need to meet. That's the woman I need to meet." So I go walking on from Fairhaven. "Goodbye, Fairhaven. You weren't so fair to me, but that's okay. I have no ill will. I will walk on to the next town, to Pulteney, Vermont." And I'm just about to go into the grocery store to get some food, and I think, I wonder where I'm going to sleep tonight. I turn to this man coming out and I say, "Where is the green? And is there a gazebo on the green?" And he says, "Oh no, they moved the railroad station back 100 years ago, and so this is really East Pulteney, and where you want to be is about 3.5 miles from here. That's where the green is." And my heart sank. And I said, "Oh, I'm walking a distance. I'm walking from Montreal to Manhattan." "Oh, I saw you on the TV." And he gets his friends over, and they want to hold my map, and we're having a grand old time, and it's just so wonderful, right? And then they say, "Well, you might, go into the middle of the village." So I go, I sit down, and there's nothing there. So I think, aha, I sleep where I usually sleep when there's no place to sleep, in the cemetery. The cemetery. How many of you sleep in cemeteries? No? Wonderful, peaceful place. Believe me. So I walk up to the end of town, and I'm going for the cemetery to enter the cemetery. I go past the Catholic church like they told me. I don't see anything, I just see a road. And so I turn down that road, and as I turn down that road, these little dogs come nipping at my heels, and I hear a